Greetings to everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic of column due to eccentric loading. So what are all the changes it is going to happen that we are going to discuss in the today's class. So that with respect to eccentric loading, how the formula is going to differ in the Rankines as well as in the Eulers. That one we are going to see. Based on that, there are some problems we are going to discuss in the today's class. Let us go to the derivation first. So first of all, think about the column. Okay. So if the column is the load is acted its central point, okay, now about its axis, then the load is said to be axial load. Okay. So if, which means this is the cross section, if the column is going to act here, load is going to acting here, then the load is said to be axial load. Okay. If the column is to be here, the center line of the column is to be here, but it may have some eccentricity, like the load is acting at somewhere else. Okay, now, so this is nothing but eccentricity E. So for example, the load is going to be act here. Okay, now, so that with respect to axis, the distance is nothing but E. Okay, so this one is called as eccentricity. That is with respect to the axis, what is the distance the load is going to act, that is called eccentricity. So because of this eccentricity and load, there will be a moment creation. So M is equal to P into E. Okay. So because of this moment, the entire formula is going to change for calculating the crippling load. That is, now we are going to say it is a load. Okay. Now let us move on to the Rankine's formula, how to calculate these things. Okay. Load. So first, some constants abbreviation we are going to use. P is equal to an eccentric load to which the short column is subjected. An eccentric load to which a short column is subjected. A short column is subjected. So E is equal to eccentricity of load from the geometric axis. From the geometric axis. E. Next, area of the cross section of the member. Okay, next is sigma max. So maximum compressive stress. Maximum compressive stress. Then sigma is equal to safe stress of the column. Safe stress of the column. Okay. Next one is LE, that is the effective length of the column. Effective length of the column. Okay. Now, how the way we are going to take it? Okay. Mostly, sigma is equal to that is total stress. Okay, maximum stress sigma is equal to, we are going to calculate like this, that is direct stress plus bending stress. So bending is nothing but due to moment. Okay, so direct stress we are going to take it as the load by area. Okay, bending stress, okay, we know the formula, that is M by Z is nothing but it is going to indicate that sigma B, that is bending stress. Okay. From this, we know that m is equal to p into E. Okay. Here we have discussed that how the moment is going to, okay, now because of load into eccentricity, we can get the moment. So P into E is the moment, okay, now Z we are going to take it as a I by Y, okay. Therefore, the equation becomes P into E into Y by I, okay. So we all know that I is equal to A into minimum radius of gyration square, okay, now so that we are going to substitute right now. Okay, so instead of this, sigma d is equal to, therefore sigma b is equal to p into E into Y into divided by A into k square. Okay, so sigma d is equal to p by A plus sigma b is equal to p into E into Y by A k square. So here the term p by A is common to everyone. Okay. So p by A, I am going to take it as outside as a common term. Okay, now so 1 plus E Y by k squared. So that is equal to sigma max. Okay. Therefore, P is equal to, okay, sigma max into A divided by 1 plus E Y by k squared. So this is the formula which we are going to use to calculate the load if it have the eccentricity. Okay, have you got it, Ram? Now the safe load for the column, the safe load for the column at the eccentricity, E is given. Okay, so here P is equal to, so only the stress value is going to say change. If it is safe load, the stress is becomes sigma. Okay, so the stress is value going to change, that is sigma C into A divided by 1 plus E Y by k square. So this is the formula if we are going to calculate the safe stress. So next, so when the effect of buckling is going to have in the column, okay, now if the column may be short or long, okay, now so if it is short, then the previous formula we are going to use. Okay, if it is a long column, then the effect of buckling also going to include in this equation. Okay, so the effect of buckling, we all know that from the Rankine's earlier formula. Okay, now that is that 1 plus alpha into L by k the whole square term is going to add further. Okay, so here when the effect of buckling is also included, then the load P becomes, so P is equal to sigma C into A divided by 1 plus E into Y by k square into 1 plus alpha into LE by k the whole square. Okay, so if we are going to consider the effect of buckling, then the formula has been changed like this in the Rankine's formula. Okay, now this is the formula related to Rankine's formula, Rankine's theory. Next, we should move on to the Euler's formula. So Euler's method, Euler's method, okay. So now note down the figure. So here the column is available, that is the end B is fixed, okay. So I can get the deflection like this. So this is deflection delta, and I am going to calculate the deflection criteria at here. If it is a x distance, then the deflection is going to called as y. The total length of the column is going to denoted as L. Now the load is acting at some eccentricity E. Okay, then whatever the formula, earlier we noted that pi squared EI by LE squared is the formula. Okay, now the formula is going to change for eccentricity of the load is to be considered. Okay, so let us discuss about it. So here the point B, this one is A. Okay, so now moving to the solution part. Okay, so with the reference of figure 1, okay, AB of column, AB of column has the length L, okay, and subjected to an eccentric load P, okay, is acting at an eccentricity of E, okay. Let us assume that top of the column is free and the bottom end of the column is fixed. Okay, now we all know that, okay, y is equal to deflection at any section x from the fixed end B, okay, and delta is equal to maximum deflection here at the top, maximum deflection at the free end. Okay, so this is the constraint we are going to have. Okay, now next we all know that we have to calculate the moment. Okay, so moment m is equal to ei into d squared y by dx squared. Okay, now then moment due to load, moment due to load. So because of convexity, the load is moment is going to have positive sign. Okay, now so here I'm going to take it as the moment at section here. Okay, so how I can calculate? Here the load P is acting. Okay, now so P plus E plus delta minus Y, so that I can reach this place. Okay, so P into E plus delta minus Y. Okay, so now we can written as a P into del plus E minus Py. Okay, so by equating the above two, Ei into d squared y by dx squared is equal to P into del plus E minus Py. Okay, so the equation we are going to change like this: d squared y by dx squared plus P into Y is equal to P into del plus E. Okay, so this is equation number 1. So for this equation, the solution becomes solution of above equation. So the solution is as per our Euler's theory for Euler's formula for long column. Okay, na? Same. So y is equal to C1 cos, okay, x into root under P by EI plus C2 sin x into root under P by EI plus del plus E. So this is the solution for the above equation. Okay, now we know the boundary conditions. So boundary conditions. So what are all the boundary conditions are available? Two conditions are available. One is if at x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 0. Since it is fixed support, okay, now deflection 0 as well as our slope also becomes 0, okay. So if x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0 and dy by dx is equal to 0. Similarly, second equation, that is at x is equal to L, the y is equal to delta. Okay. At x is equal to L, then y is equal to delta. So this is the equation we are going to use to calculate the values of constant C1 and C2. Okay, let us move on to the calculation of slope. Dy by dx is equal to, okay, now, so C1 minus sine x into root under P by EI into root under P by EI plus C2 into cos into x into root under P by EI into root under P by EI. So that del plus E becomes 0. Okay. Now the equation has been changed into C1 sine x root P by EI into root P by EI plus C2 cos x into root under P by EI into root under P by EI. So this is the equation we are having for slope. Okay, this is equation number 3. Now substitute the boundary conditions. Substitute the boundary condition. Boundary condition. That is at x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 0. So in the previous equation, that is equation number 2 becomes, so if x is equal to 0, this entire term becomes 0, okay, now plus sine 0. So equation 2 becomes x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. Upper C1 cos 0 plus C2 sine 0 plus del plus E. Okay, now. So here cos 0 becomes 1, sine 0 becomes 0. Okay. Therefore, C1 is equal to minus of del plus E. Okay. So this is the constant C1 value. Next equation, that is at x is equal to 0, dy by dx is equal to 0. Okay. So here the equation number 3 becomes 0 minus C1 into sine 0. So sine 0 becomes total 0, okay, plus C2 into cos 0 into root P by EI. Okay, so that the equation is C2 into root P by EI. Therefore, C2 becomes 0. Okay. So let us go into the another boundary condition. That is at x is equal to L, y is equal to delta. Substituting another boundary condition. another boundary condition, that is at x is equal to L, then y is equal to delta. Okay, so the equation 2 becomes delta is equal to C1 value we have to substitute. So C1 is nothing but minus del plus E, okay, into cos, instead of x we are going to substitute as L P by E. The C2 value is becomes 0. Okay, so the entire term becomes 0. C2 value is 0, so entire term becomes 0, plus del plus E is available. Okay, now this del plus E we can take into the left side of the equation. So plus del plus E is nothing but minus D minus E. Okay, so del del becomes gets cancelled. So minus E equal to minus of del plus E into cos L into root under P by EA. Okay, so this minus minus gets cancelled. So E is equal to del plus E into cos L into root under P by EA. So now we can do the cross multiplication. Okay, that is del plus E by E is equal to, okay, here the cos sign comes downside here, 1 divided by cos into L divided by root P by E. So we all know that 1 by cos theta is equal to secant theta. Okay, so the formula is going to change like this. Okay, secant L into root P by EI. Okay, so del plus E divided by E becomes, therefore del plus E is equal to E into secant L into root under P by EI. So this is equation number 4. So now the maximum bending moment for the column occurs at B, and since the end B is fixed, okay, so that the maximum bending moment is going to occur here, fixed end, okay, now, and it is equal to, P into del plus E. Okay, therefore maximum bending moment is equal to M is equal to P into E. Okay, now, so you understood now. So del we have calculated. So instead of del, we are going to substitute E into secant L into root P by EI. Okay, so now the maximum compressive stress of the column, the maximum compressive stress of the column at fixed end, it becomes sigma max is equal to sigma B, that is sigma D direct stress plus bending stress. So direct stress we are going to take it as a P by A. So bending stress is nothing but M divided by Z. Okay, now, so M we have calculated here. So M value we are going to take it as P into E into secant L by root under P by EI divided by Z. So this is the equation of sigma max for the Euler's theory, where Z is equal to section modulus. Okay. So instead of L, we have to substitute effective length LE. Okay. Have you got it? So the formula is in terms of L. Okay. So we have to substitute instead of LE, we have to substitute L. Okay. Based on the length. For example, if the both ends are, that is, here one end is fixed, then another end is free, correct? So for that LE, we are going to take it as a 2 times of L, correct? So here we are going to substitute. So L is equal to 2 times of L. Therefore, this L becomes L by 2. Okay? 2 times of LE. So therefore, LE by 2 is equal to L. So this is how we are going to substitute. So LE is equal to 2 times of L. We know that if one end is fixed and another end is free. Okay. Therefore, L becomes LE by 2. Okay. So likewise, based on the end condition, it is going to change. So now I am going to substitute this LE by 2 in this equation. Therefore, sigma max is equal to P by A plus P into E into secant LE divided by 2 into root under P by EI divided by Z. So this is the common formula which we are going to use, okay, to calculate the eccentric load. Okay, now. So here LE is nothing but effective length of the column. So based on our end conditions, the effective length you are going to use here. Okay, so please remember this formula. So this is the formula which we are going to use to calculate the Euler's load, okay, now for the eccentric column load conditions. Okay.